Oh, Chivalry 2, there's nothing quite like it. Well, except Mordhau. But apart from that, there's nothing quite like Chivalry. Okay, actually, maybe Chivalry 1. Chivalry 2 has recently had its newest update. Its Tenosian update, and I thought I would hop on, play it, and let you guys know everything that it involves and, well, what I think about it. The gameplay you can see in the background is the update itself. It's actually my first time ever playing it. I hopped on this map, and it seems to be a night map. One of 3 maps it seemed to turn out as. As you can see, Cavalry has been added in Lance gameplay. It's pretty good, but we'll see a lot of that later on. Cavalry in general seems to be okay. In terms of controls, it controls very similar to something like Mordhau. I don't find it's quite as overpowered because there are some issues with actually moving around and maneuvering, but as you can see, whacking someone with your jousting stick is very, very satisfying. You can see in the bottom right that your jousting stick or your lance, and that's definitely going to annoy some people, I should probably correct that, does actually have a durability. Once you've used it enough, it will break, and it does depend on what you use it on to correlate to how much damage is done onto it. This map is very aptly called Desert, and it is just that. It is a desert map at night. As far as I can tell, there isn't too much in terms of progression on the map. It's mostly based around Team Deathmatch, which is the game mode I'm playing as now. 2 of the other maps, though, do have the other invasion and frontline modes, which move through a more linear approach. One of them, very special, that we're going to see next, is sieging a castle. By the way, did you see that knife, though? How cool is that goddamn thing? I really, really love the armor on the Tenosian, guys. It looks incredible. It's so intricately designed, and the gold shimmering in the moonlight upon this map is really nicely done. Fighting people on horseback, it's pretty hard. I mean, if you've got a long polearm, you're going to find it a lot easier. My recommendation is just to time a scroll wheel so you're able to get a quick stab into the horse. But if you're an archer, make sure you just try and aim for the guy on the back, because the horses have quite a bit of health. But when you do take someone down on a horse, you are able to get on that steed after them. It will change the colors. You'll see that a little bit later on in the video, but oh my god, that guy had a big axe. Now, riding on horseback makes you incredibly vulnerable. As you can see, my horse already has a knife in the back of his head, but everybody starts aiming for you, which makes a lot of sense, but it makes it a lot harder when the horses are quite tricky to control. This map, actually, whilst it's called Desert, is technically the same map as the Breach of Baldwin, which we're about to see next. It's just the outside of it at night time. But this is the Breach of Baldwin, and I'm going to let you watch this cinematic, because my god is this cool.
Masons, keep the enemy away from the walls!
The cinematics for starting these maps is fantastic, and this so far is my favorite one. We'll see the Battle of Alexandria and you see the lighthouse a bit later on in the 3rd map, but I think this is the best one for me personally. As an attacker, you've got to start and push up the supplies and everything that you have outside, the wagons that will later have siege weaponry in it to get onto the towers. There's also catapults as well, whilst the defenders have to try and stop you from pushing them up in any way they can possible, most of the time from slicing your head off. Cavalry will be running around from the start, so make sure you have to watch out for that. You're going to be watching every left, right and centre, and if a cavalry man gets a good swing at you, he will be taking your head off. They do a ton of damage, but we were able to mosh pit enough of these guys. I actually managed to get up onto a ballista in a second, as we'll start to see, but we start to get our siege weaponry to the walls, and we're able to get up there in a little bit of time. This is where I get on the ballista. I think I get one pretty lucky shot hit right in the legs, but he goes flying nonetheless. So it's time to start making our way to the walls, and a lance hit to the side. The cavalry makes for some really intense and chaotic gameplay. It is fantastic. A quick spear charge up onto the wall to get me up there, right in the midst of everyone. I take one guy down. I start taking a bit of a beating from every single side, just like a Friday night in my household, and I make sure that I get out of there as quick as possible with a little slick block of a knife there. I decide to head round and head up to the other side of the wall to see if we can get a little bit better of an attack formation going on here. A man decided to ride up onto the walls with his horse. That's one thing you'll see. Because horses are so new, people are just testing out things and going completely mental with it, and sometimes it makes for some interesting events. Watch this. or a quick jump over and a quick slice onto him. I don't know if I actually kill this guy because I end up messing it up later on, but I was quite proud of that thing. That was pretty slick. No, that other guy takes the kill off me, but I decided to get a quick stab into him anyway. I thought I'd do the job there. Once we've moved through off the wall, we get into the town hall. Now we have to capture this. This actually went pretty fast. I think it must have been quite hard for them to defend, but we can see the final objective in the background there. It is a big wall, a bit like a bastion in Warhammer, or it could be the Great Wall of China for all I know. Of course, geographically, it's completely the wrong place, but in terms of scale and size, that's the vibes I'm getting from that.
Our flag flies proud over the courthouse. Vengeance for Tenosian. The great bull.
Now, of course, the update doesn't just add in the Tenosian faction and new maps, but there's some new armory updates. There's a lot of helmets and things that you can get if you own the first Chivalry on Steam. You're able to link that up and get a few unlocks as well. Currently, Steam has a full release now. Of course, it was the first 12 months on the Epic Game Store, but now it has come to Steam, which I think many people are quite relieved about. And my god, these cannons are gorgeous. We're trying to make a breach in that wall there, but there are cannibals dropping and sending people absolutely flying while that man plays the trumpet in front of me. I get a stray sword to the eye. It's fine. We can deal with it. And then a horseman comes and he takes off my log. I find one of the cannibals and I decide to take it up. And whilst I do that, I'll talk to you a little bit about the issues with Steam at the moment. Because it's been out for 12 months on the Epic Store, now it comes to Steam. If you buy it on Steam, your progression will be reset, unfortunately. However, in the next update in summer, they've said that they are going to bring in a complete cross progression, so you're going to be able to do that. And here we have the final map, the cool little cinematic. We have the lighthouse at Alexandria there. The Tenosians are now defending. A little bit of a change. It's a lot of fun. The archers ready as they come up on their boats. Now, the cinematics are a little bit glitchy. You'll see the guys in the boats on the right. They fell out just a little bit. But hey-ho, it is still the first couple of days since the release of this update, so there are some things to be changed. Something I found a bit weird is what just happened there. I walked into the water and instantly died. It wasn't like a drowning, my head didn't go under, my feet touched the liquid, and my body disintegrated. Whether everybody in this game is allergic to water, who knows? But there's two guys with bells. What are the chances of that? So I try and make a quick escape, but it doesn't work out too well for me. Now, the new maps, there's technically 4 new maps, but I think there's only really 3. So we saw the first one, which is Desert, a battle on the outskirts of Baldwin in the dark, cold night. That's meant for team deathmatch. We had Breach of Baldwin, which is the team objective map. Tenosians break through a mason bulwark and siege equipment using new explosive bombards with the cannons and, of course, breaking that massive wall down. And here we, of course, have Raising of Alexandria, the team objective map with masons invading a Tenosian port city, aiming to demolish their lighthouse and burn down their massive library. A very, very sad time for historians all around the world. God damn it, Mason Order. Why have you done this? Now, the 4th one is a cavalry-only map. It's called the Charge of Wardenglade. Wardenglade was a map that was already within Chivalry 2, but now it's been made into an open field with horses. A lot of horses. Speaking of horses, let's try and do some damage with this. This is when I really come to terms with how hard it is to control these guys. I just run straight off the battlefield. I'm frantically pressing buttons, but it's just not working and I get killed. If cavalry's used well, as we're about to see on the enemy team, it can be absolutely chaotic, sending me flying every which way every 2 seconds. I managed to get a good hit on that guy there, but yeah. Chivalry 2's new update is fantastic. I really, really enjoy it. I think aesthetically it is the best looking yet. I mean, look at this guy's armor. We do manage to take his head off, and I do a fun little thing here. I get his head, I walk over here, and then I see a guy crawling across. So I do a what right in his knee, and that's just enough to finish him off. I think in general the update is probably their best so far. I think it adds in a lot of new content and the maps are really well done, especially the Lighthouse of Alexander and of course the Breach of Baldwin, a fantastic looking map, adding a lot of new things to it like cannons and of course more siege weaponry. It is really, really good. The mounted combat needs a lot of work, I think, but it is a really nice addition. It adds to that chaos that you can expect from a Chivalry 2 game. But let me know what you think. Have you played the new update yet? If you have, make sure you leave a comment down below. But until then, guys, I'll be sure to bring you anything and everything on Chivalry 2 in the future. But until then, I will see you in the next one.